Today we have Adele.
Hello from the other side.
No, not that Adele. This Adele. Adele Gutman is here to rock the house, and she is one of the top contractors when it comes to your hotel's reputation renovation. Today she will tell us how to wow our guests, adapt to change, and the tips and tricks you need to start your hotel's reputation renovation. All this and more on today's True Hotel Leaders, where leaders teach leaders. This episode is brought to you by Hotel Guest Management, the revenue management and hotel management company for boutique hotels. 95% of revenue managers are doing this wrong and they don't even know it. Revenue management is more than just looking at reports and setting rates. What's the point of setting a rate just to put it on an OTA website to compete with a bunch of other hotels? The purpose of using an OTA is to give them the leftovers, not the main course, which is why your hotel needs revenue management marketing. With revenue management marketing, you'll be able to beat the OTAs to the punch by providing your hotel's rates right at your customer's door on all their favorite platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Google, Instagram, and TikTok. It works so well, the OTAs are starting to use the strategy. You'll see it time and time again all over social media. There's only one problem. They can't do it better than us. See if revenue management is something that can benefit your hotel. Click the link below and book your discovery appointment. Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. It is Bruce Jordan, the MJ of Hotels, and we are here for another episode of True Hotel Leaders. Today I have Adele Gutman. Adele, sing to us. Hello.
It's so lovely to be here with you, Bruce. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. You know, I always ask this question in the beginning. How did you get started in this industry?
Well, I was in Houston. I had lived in New York before, but my family moved to Houston when I was a teenager, and I was a dance major in high school. I taught ballroom dancing and country dancing and Latin dancing, and I thought, wow, you really can't make a lot of money being a dancer, I don't think. So what can I do that's like business and fun, but would still put that aspect into it? And my mother and I went to a resort in Austin, Texas. It's now the Lake Austin Resort.
Oh, wow.
But at that time, it was before it was really blossomed into the beautiful place that it is. It was a much simpler place called Bermuda Inn. But I felt so happy there when my mom and I would go, because everybody was interested in making sure you feel fantastic, you change your life, you're going to have a beautiful, healthy meals, exercise, fitness. It's just transformative to be here. And I just thought, how beautiful is it to work in a destination spa? I could put my passion for fitness and dancing and everything, and my showmanship,
yes,
because there's definite level of showmanship in the hospitality industry. I could really sparkle some sunshine on the guests, and that's what I thought I would do. I never had that dream come true of actually working at a destination spa, although I did help launch Hotel X Toronto,
oh, nice,
which has a 90,000 square foot fitness center there, and has a lot of spa qualities to it. It has a beautiful Guerlain spa, but I never quite a destination spa yet. It's never too late, though, is it?
No, never. We could probably make that happen tomorrow.
So I went to the Hilton College for Hotel and Restaurant Management, and I said, I truly do not know what department I would want to be in, because they said everybody, should say, I want to be in food and beverage, or back of house, or front office, whatever. And I said, I don't have a clue. I just want to learn the business.
Yeah.
And they said, Adele, I think I know what's right for you. The assistant dean said, sales and marketing. I didn't understand what hotel sales was, but I was willing to check it out, and I fell in love with it when I went to my first Hospitality Sales and Marketing Association conference back in 1980. So That's how I
Sales
started.
and marketing. Now I get it. Now I get
Yes.
it. This is why she makes all the money. You know, you've seen so many things change. Like this industry is constantly shifting, and I feel like a lot of people, they're having a hard time keeping up because it's moving so fast, and they're having to adapt even faster. So especially when it comes to like OTA listings and Google listings and TripAdvisor, they're always changing. They're always innovating. Like now, I remember the days you couldn't book a room on TripAdvisor. You remember that? Like TripAdvisor was just
Yes.
straight reviews. You couldn't do anything but book a review. And now
Kind
you
of
can.
liked it when it was like that.
Yeah,
Actually,
me
I must
too.
say.
And now they're like, you know what? We're going to make some of this money too. We're going to become our own OTA. We're going to get this commission, and now you can, write a review and, of course, book a room. So, like,
Yeah.
what do you think about all the changes that are happening? Like, what have you seen, and what are some of the things you've done to adjust to some of the changes?
Well, TripAdvisor started in 2000, and right from the very beginning, I was all over that. As soon as I realized that people were putting online reviews, I knew that it changed the way buying decisions are made. I mean, would you buy any product, any shampoo, anything? Would you buy anything without reading the reviews first? We're shopping for details on a new house. What ceiling fan are we going to get? Do you think I'm going to buy it without reading a review? And a travel decision is such a major investment, really. You have the flights, you have the restaurants, you have the theater tickets. You want to be sure that that investment is going to be meaningful to you. So I knew from the beginning that the guest reviews were going to be powerful, especially for small hotels, boutique hotels, independent hotels that don't have the budget of big chains to advertise so much. And even if you are part of a big chain, you could be part of 40 or 60 hotels in a market of the same chain.
Yeah.
So how do you make yourself stand out? And no matter how technology changes, it'll always be true that making sure that every guest that leaves the hotel feels so great about their experience, they want to come back more often. They want to bring their friends. They want to stay longer. They want to have an upgrade experience with you. Maybe they'll stay in a suite next time for a great occasion, even though they were just passing through this time. Maybe they were here on business, but next time they're going to come back for the next year's conference and add the weekend and their family and everything else. So it's always been true since the beginning of time that a great experience is your best advertising. So that doesn't change. Only the technology changes. And now we have so many tools that make it easier for us to understand where we rank
Yes.
in terms of our competition.
Yes.
We can figure out our NPS score. We can take surveys to really identify which rooms are the problem, which days of the week are the problem. We can identify where our problems are, and everybody is wanting, I need data. Where can I get more actionable data?
Yeah.
You know what? You're flooded in data already from not only the online review feedback, but also from the feedback that your staff members receive every day. Sometimes people are telling them what they don't like. Sometimes you can if you have trained your team to identify when a person's face drops with a slight, you have those visual body language cues on whether they're disappointed in a little way. It wasn't quite what they expected. And all that feedback is so actionable, and I think that is what you need to really be aware of before you decide where you're going to innovate.
Yeah.
What is worthwhile to change? What's going to have the biggest impact? Forget what your neighbor is doing and what your other neighbor is doing. Listen to your customers and your employees and they'll tell you exactly what you need to innovate, and then find the tool that fits that goal. So often salespeople call us and they say, you need this tool because it's going to do that. But if you weren't looking to do that, you're going to buy the tool and not really apply it because you don't have time to use a tool that doesn't fit a goal that you're committed to
Exactly.
resolving.
I agree. Things have been going up a little bit. We're seeing some changes, man. Feel like we're moving in the right direction. We getting our groove back.
Yes.
But I don't see the point of things going up if we're just gonna go back to normal and expecting to be there. So like right now, this is where people may see the demand going up, and they're like, okay, I could get comfortable again. Let me relax a little bit. I don't have to make as many sales calls, or I don't have to worry about doing these upsells anymore that generate more revenue. So like, what are some of the things that you see that we need to work on, that we learned from COVID, that we need to stick to? Is it whether it be a financial perspective or a service perspective or a sales perspective, marketing?
Well, I think that every hotel will have found out something a little bit different because you have a different market and your guests have different expectations from one kind of hotel to another kind of hotel. But if you're listening, you'll be able to know, I stopped doing this activity that was very expensive, and guess what? My customers didn't mind. Now I don't have to spend the money on that. Does that mean I get to keep all the money? Maybe. What's really better is to say, spend the money on something that they're saying they want.
That's right.
They're not satisfied with the level of service or the experience in another area, and so pay less attention to what everyone thought was important to the guests, and instead focus that energy on what is important to the guests. Because even though there's this flurry of desire to finally get out there and travel the world and stay at beautiful places, if you're used to staying at a $75 hotel, that price may have gone up to $150 now.
That's right.
In some cases, depending on the day of the week and the season, of course. But if you're used to staying in a $500 hotel, and I mention this because I saw somebody on the news this morning say, I used to stay at this hotel all the time, and it was $500, but I just stayed there for $1,000, and guess what? It increased that much, and the experience was less.
Wow.
So, you know what? If we're getting more revenue in, we have to make sure that that there's an expectation.
That's right.
They have an expectation. If they're paying that much, it's going to be a wow. And that is true for the $1,000 guest and for the one that just went from 75 to 150 equally. Even if they went from 75 to 115, they're expecting more. And we have to give them a wow experience. And you know what? You can give it a wow experience at anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. You can give it at an ice cream parlor. I walked into a place, you reminded me of this a moment ago. I walked into a yogurt place, a frozen yogurt place, and they asked me for my name. And of course I said Adele, and they all started to sing. and you know what? I have a warm place in my heart for that yogurt place now, because they were just in the moment, feeling good, and they let their good energy lift my spirits.
But something's telling me they can't sing it like you can.
I can. I can only dance. I cannot sing. But I'm delighted that Adele, the name, is such a good brand.
Amazing. I remember you actually reminded me something about wowing the guests. We have like so many different reviews. We have Google, we have we have all the OTAs, Booking.com, TripAdvisor, Travelocity, so on and so forth. And I would do like a weekly assessment, and I would see where my reviews were at with each and every single OTA. And when my reservations was coming in, I will separate them by OTA, and then I will whichever platform had the worst reviews, the reviews were the lowest, those will be all the guests that I wow. Like I'll print out all my Booking.com reservations that I was checking in. And I'm like, these are going to be our wild guests for the day. Okay, and it worked. Like as soon as they came in, we wowed them, and they left a great review. Made sure they stayed in the best rooms, and make sure they got all the free upgrades. So.
But you know how I help my hotels get to number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 in a row out of hundreds of hotels on TripAdvisor in New York City? Wow, every guest.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, every single guest. There isn't a single guest that doesn't deserve to have some sparkling sunshine on them.
I agree. I
Right?
agree.
And it's just a habit that you want to get your team into, and just say, we have to be here these 8 hours as if we only worked 8 hours.
Yeah.
We have to
Imagine
be
that.
here for these 8 hours a day. So let's have some fun and make us happy. Let's see what little thing we can do to lift their spirits and have them, singing our praises when they're walking out the door. It is so much more fun to work in a hotel that is focused on the guest experience. If you want to know how to lift your employees' spirits, help them identify themselves as the kind of people who are masters at making people happy. It's so satisfying. It feeds the soul. Everybody. It's true for everybody, especially people who come into the hospitality industry. They all come in with this hope that they will be able to be a part of someone's joy, lifts people's spirits. And if you teach somebody or educate them on how they can do little kind things and it will brighten a person's day, that make you unforgettable to them, make them so grateful that you were there for them. People come to us tired and hungry and frustrated and so full of hope that this will be a beautiful stay. And we have the power to make these dreams come true, and that's what's beautiful about the hospitality industry. But if we are shackled by management, that we can't use our creativity and our passion for hospitality and our resources to make people happy, if we don't have that permission, if we have a fear that we might get in trouble for trying to do the right thing for a guest, it's soul crushing. And it's soul crushing to be the one assigned to respond to reviews. Oh, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Copy, paste. And it's soul crushing. But if they see that management is saying, tell us, what can we do to make you more successful in making people happy? You might be surprised. They may not answer you the first time or the second time or the third time, but eventually they'll understand that you really want to know.
Yeah.
How can we empower you? How can I help you make people happy? I know you're great at making people happy because I can see these reviews. You've made a lot of people happy. But then there are these reviews. How can we now get everybody to that level of happy? Because we're wasting so much money on acquiring new guests, paying for advertisements, paying for so many whizzy gizmos that are not necessarily enhancing the guest experience. And we're acquiring new guests. Hospitality Family, the Facebook group, and there are other groups like that. When people share that they're frustrated, that they're constantly having to go out and find new business to replace old business because the groups that they brought in are
get-
not going to come
yeah,
back, or
yeah.
they're making sales calls on companies, but they won't book because they looked at the reviews and they'll see that what they say isn't a match for what they do, isn't
Yeah.
a match for what the guests feel about their experience. You sit in the executive office sometimes and you say, my hotel is this and that. Well, your guests say otherwise. So let's close the gap between what we think, what we say, and what we actually deliver.
For sure, for sure.
And it'll be so much easier to do business and you'll charge more, but you're delivering an upgraded experience. And it's not about the bricks and mortar. It's about the culture and the way the staff is just beaming love and helpfulness and you know, I'm always saying sparkling sunshine on the guests. That comes from my dancing days.
Yeah, it's sparkling sunshine. I think you should have stuck with country dancing. You're probably a millionaire right now. Okay. Now, as far as like, you know, the guest experience, you brought up wow every guest. What are some of the things that you do or that you recommend that hotels should do to wow their guests? With both sides, there's going to be a financial side, with the little cost, and then there's going to be a non-financial side, because some hotels just, especially some of the hotels that I worked with until I built them up, I just didn't have a budget to make that happen. So
I think you know as well as I do that the first thing you have to do is clean that hotel up.
Oh, yeah.
Till it sparkles
Oh,
like
yeah.
jewelry, you know? And not only, I mean, you may start at with the lobby and the most public-facing things. That needs to be, when you walk into the hotel, you have to have a sense of arrival. It should smell fresh and clean and welcoming, and it should have an aesthetic value to it. And so, you know, think about what you can do to make it as welcoming as you can. Now, you may just have a little, you know, coffee and donut kiosk like we do on the streets of Manhattan, and you can make that place as clean and polished, and the signage and everything as nice as possible. But there's nothing that's going to make your hotel or any kind of hospitality business as beautiful as a clean, fresh, smiling, sparkling eyes, front desk guest service agent, welcoming. If you have that, if they have that smile on their face, they look you in the eye, they feel confident because they know exactly what they're here to do. Their job is not to check people in. Their job is to make people happy.
That's
Their
right.
job is not to do transactions. Their job is to make that person feel so welcome. When everyone understands, so the first thing you do, other than clean up the place and make sure, you know, the maintenance is really well done so they don't have problems when they get to the room. There's nothing more irritating than that. Because it makes you feel like people don't care. It's like the old saying that if you leave a little dirt, if you go sit on a plane and on the tray table there's some crumbs from the past passenger, you translate that the engine is not being serviced and maintained properly. So maintaining everything properly is so important. But and then at the same time, that heart of hospitality. Every single person should go back and rewrite their job description, not based on I clean rooms, I send out the bill, I check people in with polite and professional.
I cash my paycheck.
I say, let's throw away that expression, polite and professional. I don't want to hear it anymore. It does not cut it. It is the bare minimum of any business to be polite and professional. You are not a superstar for being polite and professional. You're a superstar for making people happy. So how do I, as a housekeeper, make people happy? I clean the room with love, thinking about the family or the business person or the romantic couple who are celebrating an anniversary in this room. And I put everything I have into it to make sure that they're going to have a flawless experience. You know, Anthony Melcori says, when you walk into a guest room, it should feel like you're the first person staying there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a beautiful
Have
way.
you ever did that before? Like you're inspecting rooms and you could just feel that the room is clean. You can.
Yes.
And when you walk into the room, you can just feel that it's
Yes.
clean. Like, man, I don't even know if I need to inspect this thing. This thing looks so good.
And believe me, I've had that feeling many times at a select service hotel. I've had that feeling many times at a hotel that was very old, but I can tell it was cleaned with
That's
love.
right.
You know, I remember one time I was taking someone on a tour of the hotel. It was a journalist, I think, and we passed by an open door, and there was a housekeeper in it, and she saw me passing.
Oh,
Good
that's so
afternoon,
cool.
Adele. And I looked in, and she was putting all the toys of the child on the bed in such a beautiful way, like she was doing it for her own children or grandchildren. And I cannot teach somebody to do
Yeah.
that. I can't. But it's just if your heart is there, that, you know, I work for this hotel, and this is what we're all about. We always do the right thing for our guests. We're always going the extra mile. That's who we are. When you get your people to identify themselves as the kind of people that know are masters, are making people happy, and are creative problem solvers, and that they have the full support of the management to do whatever they can to make sure every guest has a great experience, wow, you will turn your business around in no time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, you're known as the TripAdvisor Queen, all right? So what are some of the recommendations that you have for everyone for TripAdvisor?
Well, first of all, you have to appreciate the lifetime value of a customer. That you don't want to be spending all that money attracting and acquiring new customers because of sales calls, because of advertisements, because of so many other things that we spend money on with technology, but we don't make sure that that guest wants to come back and that that guest is going to bring back more people based on their reviews. So you have to really appreciate the financial significance of making guests happy. Second of all, imagine what you want your guests to say about you. What do you want that review to say? And then and challenge your team to all write what their dream review is. Who
Nice.
is your ideal customer? Your romantic couple customer, your business customer, your meeting groups customer, etc. And then for each one, what would that persona in your dream world write about your hotel? And then be that hotel. And you can't be that hotel from your executive office. You can only be that hotel.
I agree,
from-
100%.
You have to capture the imaginations of every single human being in your business. The accounting department, the social media department, the IT department should define themselves by how they contribute to making guests happy, and have them take pride in it. And sometimes people have a hard time taking pride in it because, as you have done, you would come into a hotel that's getting 2-star reviews, but somewhere along the way, there were some 5-star reviews there. There were always some good compliments there. So focus on the fact that you are able to do this. We just need to do it more consistently. So share your vision, that inspiring vision. Say, I need you to all work together as a team with me and tell me how I can support you in our new quest of getting these kind of reviews and being the best hotel in our town, in our county, in our state. And I had 3 hotels in the top 25 hotels in the United States of America on TripAdvisor. It just happened. I couldn't make that happen, but I could brick by brick, help inspire the employees to be the kind of hotel that inspires those reviews. And that's how we got there. You know, you can't control what people say, but you can influence it, starting with your people.
Amazing.
You have to inspire them first.
Amazing, amazing. Well, tell everybody how they can get in contact with you.
Well, visit AdeleGutman.com. I have there a lot of free resources for hotels who want to get great reviews, including the podcast, Get Great Reviews, and actually Get Great Guest Reviews, but
Okay.
it's AdeleGutman.com/GetGreatReviews. And I have videos on my YouTube channel. Please follow me there. Follow me on my blog. And call me if I can come and help you cultivate a culture of caring, collaboration, and continuous improvement that inspires 5 stars. It's so much easier to do than you think, but it definitely helps to have a coach guide you through a reputation renovation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Reputation renovation. I like that. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of True Hotel Leaders. I'm Bruce Short, MJ of Hotels, signing out. And here, you know what we're here to do. This is where leaders teach leaders. And we'll talk to you soon.